Just got here, and as soon as I walked out of the car, this guy just drove up. Go fuck yourself! I just got here. But anyways, so it's stalking harassment. It's easily done, easy to do, to figure out where someone's gonna be and to harass them when they arrive to the location. I just arrived to a location and guess what? I saw a police officer. But I guess you can escape the harassment by saying, well, you went to a police department. But how smart are you? Can you see through the crap? Or are you gonna buy the lie that, hey, you're at a police department? There's a good chance you're gonna see a police officer. Or you're gonna believe my history or the claims I've made that wherever I go, and I arrive there shortly after the police officers arrive at that location to harass you and make you feel like you're being stalked and followed at all times. Oh. Huh. That is weird. Well, nobody is there. There gotta be a button. Maybe there's a button. The instructions. Yeah. Oh, there's someone. Hello. Are you the records?
We have the records, yeah.
Can I have, I filed a request to get a record 20 days ago.
Okay.
To get body cam footage of the incident. And I was told last week I was the third person in line.
Yep.
And, which I thought was funny. But it's a week later.
Yep.
I called 3 times. Nobody answered.
Yep, she's out sick today.
Oh, do you have those records?
We don't have them done yet, no. It takes, so you're third in line, but each body cam before that has to be redacted. So we have about 10 requests right now for video, and each one of them has to be reviewed and redacted before we can release it. So that's where yours is at right now. So there's 2 more that she's working on right now that were dated before yours. That's why yours is third in line.
Okay.
And then when she finishes redacting those, she'll move on to yours.
Okay. So I probably won't get to see the body cam before the trial?
If it's something that you want before court, you can let the court know that you don't have everything that you've requested, and they can extend and give you a different date.
Okay, and then can I have the police report?
If it hasn't been redacted yet, they probably were just doing it all together. But if you want that first,
yeah, I would like at least to know why I was charged with disorderly conduct.
Yep. So let me just find your request and see if that part of it's been done.
Okay, it was a separate request. So
2 different requests.
Yeah, so one for the body cam, one for the written police report.
Okay, I think they may have combined it to one. So
Okay.
let me figure that out.
Yep. Why would you? Sitting here listening to people, I'll start telling you guys what they're saying with implants. I don't know why I wasn't doing that the whole time. Just listening to stupid people tell me stupid stupid things that could happen for like the last minute and a half right now while they're squeezing my chest. So squeezing my chest, squeezing my heart using an implant. Holy crap. So maybe no police report. Holy crap, it's been 30 days.
Okay. So she said that you just sent the request for the police report today?
Yes.
Yep, so she'll work on it, but we have to go through it and redact it and make sure it's available. So right now it's not available.
Okay. How does that I don't know. I've been through the criminal justice system before, and usually like the next morning you wake up, there's like, if you get arrested today, tomorrow morning, or at the very latest the next day, you'll see why you were arrested, and it's completely written out.
Yeah, that's if you're charged with a criminal offense. This is just a municipal citation.
Yeah.
So we don't publish those online. Like you're talking like CCAP, you can go in and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, municipal citations aren't attached to CCAP, and municipal records aren't. There's no online charging system for that.
Yeah.
So that's not published like it is
Okay.
with a criminal charge.
But there is something that says why you were charged. What is that called for municipal tickets? For like, yeah, you said for CCAP they have what you just described, and then for municipal tickets, is there another name for it?
It's an ordinance violation.
Oh, ordinance violation. That do you have a describes exactly what the person did that to receive the.
Well, CCAP doesn't describe that either. They just list the name of the charge.
Oh no, I'm not talking about CCAP. I'm talking like if you were arrested, you went to jail, the next morning you show up in court, and they have exactly what written out, like exactly what you were charged with.
A criminal complaint?
Like a criminal complaint.
No, there's no such thing with municipal court. They don't do that. It's just the police report, so the judge gets a copy of the actual police report from the officer, and that's what he or she uses for a charging decision based, and then your testimony is back.
And that's public record?
If somebody makes a request for it,
Okay.
it's public record with redaction. So open records law requires that we redact personal information for anybody involved.
Okay.
And then obviously any juvenile or sensitive information or like that kind of stuff would also be redacted.
Okay. How much of the report do you... victims information redacted. So that's what, there's something in there that like victims or
witnesses, anybody that's listed in the report, their personal information has to be redacted, and then we have to read through the report to see if there's anything else under the open records law that we can't release. Okay,
and then I think it's my last question. If a victim did, to get the disorderly conduct, the victim had to say they were they were offended or disturbed by the behavior. Would I ever get to know who my accuser was or who?
Their names will be included. They're just like their personal information, contact information is not.
And
in most cases, I shouldn't say that. There are times where we have to redact the name completely as well. It depends. It's called a balancing test, so we have to see each individual case is treated differently.
Okay, and will I? So that's why you're redacting. And crap. Does anybody? I won't know until I get the report. Is it possible to? Is it legal to ask somebody if they're offended or to solicit disorderly conduct, like to solicit somebody?
For you to ask them?
No, for a police officer to ask a victim to, hey, were you offended? Do you want to?
So that's part of their job. They have to ask that question.
Oh, I thought it was illegal to solicit.
No, they have to ask those specific questions actually.
Okay.
If they were disturbed or,
And then does Middleton respect First Amendment rights? Police Department?
Yes.
And under all conditions, protected free speech is protected free speech.
As long as it's not disturbing the public, correct.
Okay. Well, then it's no longer protected, right? It's no longer protected.
You have to look at the First Amendment specifically. Yeah. I don't know the exact language, but it is against the law per the disorderly conduct ordinance to cause a disturbance or disturb other people in public.
Yeah, but then you couldn't speak freely in public either.
That's something for you to argue in court. Yeah, I don't know that part.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I heard that law you said, but I was just wondering how you guys stood with First Amendment rights, and I think you just told me that state laws rise above First Amendment rights to speak freely.
Or municipal ordinances.
Municipal orders.
Yeah, you can't disturb the public.
Right,
You're free to speak as long as you're not causing a disturbance or disturbing the public. Yep.
I think, but protected free speech.
Yeah, like I said, you'll have to discuss that with the judge. He or she would know way better than I do when it comes to that stuff.
But thank you. I appreciate. Are you an officer?
I'm the office manager.
Okay. Okay. All right, but you know the police department very well and the laws. And
I've worked here for a long time. I am not an expert on the laws, but I've worked with the police department, yes.
Okay, cool. That is incredible. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. And do you know should I come back or how can I
call you? You must have did you provide your email and phone number?
Yeah. So I have to wait for the police report too?
So we'll reach out to you and let you know when it's ready so you don't have to waste a trip in.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you. Holy crap. So she said she's not a police officer. That's pretty cool. But she also told me, I gotta watch it again. Someone just is stopping my memory, stopping me from remembering what she said. But I'm positive she just very intelligently told me that First Amendment rights in the city of Middleton can be trumped by municipal ordinances, which is a lie. And she said she was an expert. Well, she's not an expert, but she's worked here long enough to know the laws in the city. So, and I think for a moment, someone used an implant to tell her she is wrong and that I am recording her saying something that the Middleton Police Department supports. I recorded her telling me the Middleton Police Department supports rights violations. Civil rights violations with ignorance, intelligent ignorance. So she just used a very intelligent way to tell me she can violate my rights, right? She just used a very intelligent way to say, for this reason, we can violate your rights. And it's wrong. So she's feigning ignorance. It's like when you pretend like you're intelligent pretend like you have the right reason. And it sounds intelligent enough that a judge or the population or the public would believe you thought for a good reason you had the right cause to violate someone's rights. But you did it. The law does not allow, the First Amendment does not allow any protected free speech to be prosecuted. So for any reason, nothing you say, there isn't a reason anything you said that is protected free speech can be prosecuted. Disturbing the peace, causing a disturbance, whatever the heck she just said, those are lies. Intelligent lies that require a greater intelligence to what do you call that crap? So it's called an intelligent lie. So the woman who looks incredibly intelligent, that dresses sophisticated, looks experienced, looks like she's educated, just told an intelligent lie that requires someone else, someone who went to law school, a legal expert. Well, it doesn't require a legal expert. These people understand protected free speech, and they also understand how to lie. They know how to lie. If the lie sounds intelligent, if the reasoning sounds intelligent enough, you can lie to, and someone's squeezing my chest to stop me from speaking to you and interfering with my intelligence, my ability to speak, to explain myself to you. But it is common sense that protected free speech is always protected at all times. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. That is crazy, dude. That is crazy. So, protected free speech, the implants aren't going to save you. Protected free speech is insane, dude. So okay, I'm trying to go backwards. I'm really trying hard to remember what she said. So, protected free speech is always protected. So, when that woman, she's not a police officer. I should ask, well, the police department is there. I should ask somebody who is a police officer their official stance on civil rights. I should. But I'm pretty sure the woman just told me that the City of Middleton Police Department believes if you disturb the peace, you don't have protected free speech anymore. But that's not how it works. Protected free speech is always protected under all circumstances. It is always protected. Otherwise, it's not protected anymore. There's no such thing as protected free speech anymore. Because you could speak freely in public, or think you're speaking freely in public, and somebody who's offended by what you said standing next to you can ask a police officer to charge you with disorderly conduct because they were offended by what you said. And that's not fair, right? So they made a rule. Protected free speech is not protected anymore if you cause harm to people around you. If you speak and cause harm to somebody nearby, or you plan to cause harm to somebody nearby, you can So the rule is you cannot cause harm to the people around you with the words you speak, or violence can't occur because of what you said to that person. So what I just learned was that Middleton says that's not the law in the city of Middleton. Those aren't the rules in the city of Middleton. The city of Middleton thinks if you disrupt someone's peace, if you hurt someone's feelings, or if someone doesn't like what you say, if they're offended by what you said, you can be charged with disorderly conduct. That's not how the America works. America works first with your free speech first. The second thing, but it's not free speech if it's violence. If violence occurs because of the words you speak. That's the threshold. So, and the free speech has to have value. The things you said has to have value. So, and that's a very broad idea. So you have a lot of freedom to say things, anything you want, as long as it has value. What I heard was go fuck yourself 3 times. And especially directed towards a police officer in action at work. It is a known act. It's a known speech. That is a very well-known speech that is described as free speech. It is very well described through lots of cases throughout the world, throughout America, as free speech. And the officer chose to lie and say that because a child was nearby, it's no longer protected free speech. It is protected free speech at all times unless something harmful happens to somebody nearby, or violence occurs afterwards. But as long as nobody is harmed, you have a right to protected free speech. But the city of Middleton just told me, the lady who works here just told me, that the city of Middleton doesn't respect civil rights. Or they're going to pretend like they have ignorance. They're ignorant to civil rights. But she just told me something incredibly intelligent, something very intelligent, and it means she's intelligent. If she is intelligent enough to know the municipal law, she's intelligent enough to know the constitutional law as well. She knows the rules that free speech is not protected. She's well aware. So if somebody says, go fuck yourself in public, she knows that it's free speech. She's been a police officer for however long she's been here. She's been around police. She's watched the news. She's an old lady. So old ladies watch the news. They know history. I'm only 33 years old. And that woman is older than me. So she knows more about police history, police encounters, police lessons, police news, constitutional rights. She knows that people were swearing, saying, go fuck yourself, all through the streets, or saying, fuck the police, all over town in front of various people wearing signs and clothes that have swear words on the clothes or spoken out loud towards police officers. She knows the news. She's watched the news, and she also knows that those people weren't prosecuted because what they were saying was protected free speech. It wouldn't matter who was nearby. It wouldn't matter what was happening. She knows that it's protected free speech. And right now, today, right 10 minutes ago, she told me that if it disturbs the peace, it's no longer protected free speech. That's what this intelligent woman just told me. A very, 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 very intelligent appearing person. Well, she is. She even recited a law in a concise, easy to understand manner to me. But it was a wrong law. So how does someone with that much intelligence confuse constitutional rights? They are lying on purpose. They are lying to justify harassing citizens, and they're going to stick to their lies unless somebody in power chooses to change what they said. But the person in power is one man, and it's very scary to be in a position of power when the majority of people don't like the right decision. So making the right call is very scary to a judge, because there are lots of people who don't like the right decisions to be made. And if they're intelligent lies, if the best lies that they can tell, like municipal disturbing the peace rises above, First Amendment protected free speech rights, if they're intelligent enough to argue that, then the outcome doesn't turn out there. If they use their intelligence to lie, and that doesn't work, they're going to use violence. That's the next step in their to get what they want. So if they can't control what you say, control what you do with their intelligence, they're going to control what you say and control what you do with violence. Lying intelligence, the ability to lie to get what you want. And that's what this woman just told me. She's a intelligent liar, disturbing the peace because you said something offensive. Well, that could be deemed offensive. Well, no, because you said something doesn't mean because you said go fuck yourself in public, which is your First Amendment right, it does not mean you are allowed to be charged because somebody was offended by the free words you spoke. You made a statement. That statement was towards a police officer, and under no circumstances can you be prosecuted for what you said. Doesn't matter who was offended by it. Doesn't matter who heard what you said. It doesn't matter at all. It is protected free speech. And if somebody doesn't like what you said, they have to go home crying. They have to whine. They have to rebut. They have to retaliate. Well, not retaliate. They have to respond. Well, they can use free speech to tell you, I disagree with what you said. But they cannot use law enforcement to punish you for what you said. That is not a legal recourse. That is not a citizen's recourse. An ability for citizens to... That is not a choice citizens can make, and law enforcement is supposed to stop that citizen's decision or tell that citizen, hey, we can't punish him because you didn't like what he said. We can't punish him for free speech. You understand? We are not allowed under the United States Constitution to punish somebody for using free speech. That is what the law enforcement is supposed to say. They're not supposed to make an excuse to punish somebody, like disturbing the peace, a lie, using an intelligent lie to justify breaking the rules, violating someone's civil rights, which is interesting. So I'm going to go over here. I know the police department is right over here. I'm going to ask them their stance on civil rights before I leave. I think they're going to tell me, we believe your civil rights fall below. We believe your civil rights fall below. We believe your civil rights protected free speech falls below municipal ordinance of disturbing the peace if somebody is offended by your statements. So the question is, what does the Middleton Police Department believe? So this is the Middleton Police Department headquarters, or communication center. Hi.
Hi, can I help you?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Are you a spokesperson for could you tell me the stance the Middleton Police Department has on civil rights or First Amendment rights? Do they protect the Constitution above anything else? And
That's not something I feel comfortable talking about while I'm at work, so I'm not going to answer your questions.
oh, okay. It's a Middleton Police Department question.
No, you're asking me questions about the Constitution and First Amendment rights. That's not something I feel comfortable talking about, nor do I feel comfortable being recorded.
Okay. Can I talk to a Middleton Police Department officer?
Let me see who I can find.
Or, I'm so sorry. I don't need a sergeant, possibly.
And what was your name, please?
I don't know. I just want to. You can tell him, like, there's a guy who would like to speak to a sergeant waiting outside.
Okay.
Holy crap! She's being recorded inside her office. There's a. Holy crap! And someone is using an implant to make my heart beat faster. Someone is, right as we speak, using an implant to make my heart beat faster and making it very difficult for me to speak. Holy crap. So I guess, yeah, so they're making it very difficult for me to speak, telling me what to say, and I guess they're going to play this out like a script. Somebody's going to arrive here, they're going to be a sergeant. He's going to put like a script, follow a script when he gets here. I'm going to struggle to give my thoughts. You're going to tell that clearly I'm not speaking as well as I should. It's the implant. Someone doesn't want me to appear intelligent to you to this video on the internet or to anyone else. Somebody is desperate to get me to not seem like I'm capable of thinking or talking or telling people what I want, or thinking like I'm not capable of speaking. But I grew up very well. I grew up well enough to always know how to speak or tell people what I want to say. I've never been afraid to speak publicly. I've never been afraid of cameras. I've never had struggles speaking. But you can use an implant to make it very difficult for someone to speak. And so I came here to ask for records. It's been 30 days. And then I came here to ask for a police report so that I can have something to argue. To know what I'm fighting for in court. What am I exactly going to argue in court I had a right to do? Or what exactly did the officer accuse me of? Or what did someone else accuse me of? So without knowing exactly what you were accused of, it's very difficult to be prepared in a courtroom. And I think that's the purpose of withholding information, so that when someone shows up to trial, they're not prepared to argue for themselves, or you have more time to build a case against them. So I guess apparently they're going to argue that it's disorderly conduct based on disturbing the peace. I don't know what standards they're going to use, but normally the best tool to use against someone is a lie. Especially if a best tool to use against someone, and if you're a prosecutor, is to hide information. I guess that's their go-to maneuvers. Hide information until the last minute, and if they're stressing, they're afraid, or they're scared. Hello. Hi. I had a quick question about the Middleton Police Department stance on First Amendment rights,
Okay.
and municipal ordinance that, from what I've heard, contradict the First Amendment right to free speech.
What ordinance are you quoting?
I'm not too good with the law. I was told that the law. I'm sorry. I'll start over. I was told that disturbing the peace or offending somebody in public by what you said is a criminal or a municipal. You can be charged with disorderly conduct or disturbing the peace if you say something that offends somebody nearby, and they call the police and they say, "Hey, I was offended by what this person said." Now, I also heard that there are certain words you can speak. There are certain words you can speak that at all times are protected, and from like 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years of experience in American history, if you go back in time enough, you see that these same words were spoken, and it was repeatedly said that if you say these words, you are protected under the United States Constitution. So I was wondering, does the Middleton Police Department uphold the United States Constitution if certain specific words are said at all times, or do they make exceptions?
What words are you talking about?
I hate using words in inappropriate times, but I'll say it. Go fuck yourself has been argued as a United States constitutional free speech. Or words like...
Is it listed in the Constitution as go fuck yourself as free speech?
It's it's listed in courtrooms. So
Okay.
some, like United States judges or United States Supreme Court judges, they give examples in the courtroom of protected free speech. So like when somebody yells out "F the police" in front of the police, in front of a
Are you
crowd.
talking specifically about the citation you were just issued a little while ago for saying it in front of children?
Yes,
That's
yes.
why you were issued a citation.
Okay, but I'm just gonna.
You can say it to officers anytime you want.
Yeah.
That is your free speech.
Yes.
But saying it in front of little children, that's where you cross the line.
Okay.
That's when it becomes disorderly.
Okay, this is what I was trying to elaborate on, is that according to the. Okay, thank you. I think you answered my question without any further, I guess. But
If you had a child, would you want somebody to say those words in front of them?
I can't control what people say.
You are correct.
So, and if they use protected free speech in public,
Go fuck yourself is not protected free speech under the Constitution.
Yeah,
Nothing is actually protected. Your speech is protected, but specific words are not specifically protected.
oh, okay. And if you said "F the
If you say
police,"
something that disturbs other people,
Yeah.
especially children, then yes, you can be issued a citation for that.
okay, so the whole "F the police" for the last 60 years, spoken in public, spoken in crowds.
If you can show me something that says that that's okay to do in front of children, then you can take it to court and that citation might be dropped. But unless you can show that...
shouldn't like a seasoned officer like you, or like a seasoned officers, like lots of officers across the country already know this?
You say those words to us all the time. You
Yeah.
don't get cited every single time. You only got cited that time because you said it in front of children.
Yeah, but I think they made it certain that it was protected at all times, even in front of kids, even in front of women, even in front of a church, even in front of...
Unless you can show me court documents that say
Yeah.
so.
Oh, I think there are. I swear to you, they
Find them
yeah.
and bring them in. And
Okay.
take them to your court date.
Okay, but all right. You've been a police officer for how long?
Almost 20 years.
Holy crap, that is a very long time. Have you watched like police officers nationally? Do you like keep track of national?
I do not.
or national news or any like news stories like that?
I don't.
Oh, I'm almost positive that it's nationally known as, like, if you say F the police in front of police.
You can say it to police
Yeah.
anytime
And
you
if
want.
there's like
and I've told you that. You can say it to us. You've said it to us multiple times.
What if there was a woman standing right next to you?
A woman is different than a child.
Okay. So they don't have. Okay.
There were multiple children around when you said that.
Yes. So what if there was a child hiding behind the pillar over there who overheard me? Would I have to check the area of my voice to make sure that no children were nearby before I spoke to you?
I can't tell you that, no.
So I think that's why they said it's protected, because you can't know who's nearby. It's impossible to know how far your voice carries. And even if I whispered it, there could be somebody hiding around the corner who says, hey, I heard you. And now somebody, without knowing it, which isn't fair, would be charged or could be charged for disorderly conduct in Middleton. I think the law was written to protect people at all times.
If you are worried about the citation that you issued, I would recommend you go to your court date.
No, I'm not. I'm over that citation. I think
That's
I am.
specifically what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, you brought it up as an example. I want to ignore it. I want to ignore that citation. I just wanted to know, for the record, how Middleton felt about civil rights and if they were protected at all times as the United States
Like
courts.
I said, certain words, there's nothing in the Constitution that specifically states that certain words are protected.
Oh, that is correct. But then they go into detail. So in the Constitution they don't elaborate, but in the courtroom someone defined
Show that, bring that
the
in and show that
Constitution.
to me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I have to prove I have a constitutional right to use the words I spoke on. To use the words "go fuck yourself" in public at all times.
No, I've told you. You've called us that many times.
Yeah.
You can continue to say that.
Yeah.
But you do have to be aware of your surroundings.
So I have to prove the last thing you just said is the last part that you just said is not true. I have to prove it's always protected at all times. I have to prove that.
If that's what you're saying, then yeah, show me the proof.
Okay.
That's what you are saying.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm asking you to show me the proof.
And several. Okay.
Show me the court documents that say that.
I will do that, and I will prove that several other people have spoken the same words I've spoken in front of police, in front of children, in front of other people, and they were all given protected free speech rights, because there are certain, you can speak freely. Another man's lyrics is another man's. One man's lyrics is another man's something. Insult was what the Supreme Court said. You can use swear words in sentences. You can't use swear words without purpose, without gravity, without a reason. So you can't go in public and start swearing without like a meaning behind your swear words. That's what I was read. That's what I was told.
Okay,
And
so
that's
what's your meaning behind saying "go fuck yourself"?
So
every
it's
single time you see one of
emphasis.
our officers?
It's
What's
emphasis.
your meaning behind that?
Oh, so I emphasize like stalking harassment. So my purpose is to elaborate on all the stalking harassment that I see from Middleton Police
We're
Department.
not stalking, we're not harassing.
You asked me to explain. I'll tell you. Every time I see an officer, one of your officers, at an intersection, as soon as I arrive to it, like simultaneously arriving to intersections just as I do, or using the front of their bumpers to move quickly and accelerate in an intimidating way towards an intersection, or as I arrive to work, or as I leave work, it's like perfect timing.
I think that's your paranoia.
Or your awareness.
That's not us following you or stalking you.
No, I know
we
how
have
many.
officers that are constantly driving around the city.
Yeah. I know how often.
That's their job.
I don't get paranoid. I speak. Well, no.
I can guarantee you we are not stalking you. We have better things to do.
But it's okay. Have you heard of? Well, nationally, it's a known behavior by police officers to harass somebody. It's known. It's not impossible. And I'm sure officers, just like you said, that victim was paranoid before somebody else decided to investigate the truth, to say, hey, is it
John,
really
I can
happening?
tell you we would rather not have contact with you than stalk you.
I understand. And I believe I would never see you. I think there would be no history between you and I.
You see police out randomly driving around all the time.
No, I barely drive. I drive maybe 10 minutes a day. I park my car outside my apartment for
Okay.
longer than I drive it.
Okay, well, if you're walking around, you're still going to see police driving around. That's our job.
And I think it's rare. Seeing a police officer is very, very rare.
Apparently not in Middleton. We have more officers out on the
I've
street.
been in Mills. I grew up in Madison for 25 years, and I used to
Madison
come.
is normally busy on
Right.
calls, and they can't just do routine patrol like our officers do.
And I used to hang out in Middleton when I was a teenager with some kids that I used to grow up with, like share high school things with that. So I never saw a Middleton police officer when I was growing up in Madison. And I used to be here all the time. I used to frequent Middleton as much as I do now as like a drive-through, going through the town. But I'm telling you now, when I drive through the city of Middleton, almost every single time I see a police officer, and that's why there's so much history between us. One person spending 30 seconds inside the city of Middleton is constantly seeing police officers within those
That's
30
good
seconds.
patrol tactics.
Oh.
That means our officers are out doing their job.
Oh.
That means they are
Okay.
out patrolling the streets like they should be.
Okay.
It does not mean that they are stalking you.
Okay. Oh, well, then I apologize. If I'm wrong, and what you say is true, I apologize. But I wouldn't.
And the only reason that an officer's attention even gets drawn to you when they are out patrolling the streets is because you scream out, "Go fuck yourself," which then turns our officers' attention to you. You understand that, right?
Yeah, but your officers should not see me at all. Unless
We
I'm
only look at
searching
you
for them.
because you scream out, "Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself."
You know what I'm saying?
That is the only reason
I would
their
never
attention
see
is
your.
even drawn to you.
I understand.
They're not
They shouldn't
looking
even
for
be
you.
focused.
They don't see you. They might see a person walking down the street, but they have no idea it's you until you scream out.
I believe you, but my point is, I shouldn't see your officers at all.
Yes, you should.
No.
That's good patrol tactics. That's our officers patrolling the streets to make sure that people are safe.
Do you know how hard it would be
traffic
for
patrol,
even if
going
you?
to a call?
I think it would be very difficult for.
John, you come in here and make contact with us more than our officers make contact with you out on the street. And the only reason our officers make contact with you out on the street is because you yell and scream profanities at us.
Okay, I have a right.
And a lot of times we don't even make contact with you at that point. We just continue driving.
Do you
the
know-
only reason the officer made contact with you that day was because you screamed it in front of a bunch of children.
And
this
it's a free
conversation
right.
is over.
That's a free right. And the only reason why I see your officers so much is because they're stalking.
We are not stalking.
You are stalking, and someday you're gonna get caught.
You have paranoid behavior.
No, I
You
don't.
see mental
You,
health
go
professionals.
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. So that woman just protected her officer. She knows that the absolute only reason I see police officers in public so often is because they're stalking me. So my point was, I was trying to get this point across. She said that I caused I interact with her officers so much. Well, the only possible way I would see those officers as often as I do is if I knew where those officers were. So they're trying to teach me to stalk police officers to cause an altercation. But the opposite is true. The opposite is the truth. And she goes with the attack of mental health disorder. I'm incredibly intelligent. I prove it every single day on Twitter or YouTube that I am a very smart person. So what they do is they use an implant to come up with a statement that would be insulting or hurtful and protective at the same time. One, you have a mental health disorder and you're paranoid, so you can never be you can't be trusted to be a witness to harassment, stalking harassment. And she just told everybody that it is impossible to cause harassment, to stalk and harass somebody. Or it's impossible for me to say that her officers are stalking and harassing me. But they are. And her job is to protect the behavior, because all of these men would be arrested. I would be famous. And if I'm, not famous, I would be, what happens if she admits the truth? Well, a lot of people get in trouble. And then she lied multiple times. She told me that Middleton believes if there's a child nearby, you don't have protected free speech anymore. Another police officer told me this. A sergeant told me you can't have protected free speech in front of children. That's not true. It's protected at all times. And then she told me to prove it in court. I don't have to prove it in court. It's been proven in court already. And she's a seasoned police officer. She knows for a fact it has been proven in court multiple times that you don't have that you have protected free speech at all times. It doesn't have to say exactly go fuck yourself in the Constitution. A judge decided what is protected free speech. In a courtroom, when somebody questioned exactly what could be said, he told everybody, if you swear with purpose, with meaning, with emphasis, to provide emphasis to your statement, you have a right to say those swear words. That's what they argued in the courtroom. She knows that. It doesn't have to say exactly what's protected. It has to explain that if the speech is protected, then you can't be prosecuted. That's what the Constitution is for. And then somebody went along the lines to describe exactly what is protected free speech in a courtroom. And go fuck yourself was one of the things that was described as free speech. F the police was described as free speech. That means if you say that in public, under no circumstances could you ever be prosecuted, or could you ever be prosecuted for the things you said. If there's children or women nearby, it means you can never be prosecuted. That sergeant, this is stupid. It's a script. She knows she's supposed to admit right now that no matter what I thought or what that officer thought, you were right. You have protected free speech. Holy crap. That's what she was supposed to say. That's what she was supposed to say. So instead, she retaliated. She got mad and she started accusing me of having a mental health disorder. She told me I was paranoid. Now she's a doctor. She's a doctor who can tell a victim, an alleged victim of stalking harassment, that they're paranoid. She's a medical doctor. She turned into a police officer who is now a psychologist, who can tell if a victim is paranoid or needs mental health services. So I guess that's the retaliation from the police departments. If you tell on them, they'll accuse you of having a mental health disorder. Holy crap, dude. Holy crap. So if you tell on police officers, they'll retaliate or beat the victim. They'll turn on the victim. They'll accuse the victim of having a mental health disorder. I'm sorry. I think that's somebody is really smart. I know someone is using an implant to stop me from explaining myself and what being accused of a mental health disorder after you accuse the police officers of stalking, what does that mean? I think that's inappropriate. I think that's illegal. I think that's illegal, like unethical. You're not a medical professional. You can't tell somebody who's telling on police officers they have a mental health disorder. It's like you're trying to hurt their feelings and lie to them simultaneously. It's like you're doing two things at once. You're telling somebody, and he's trying to stop my thought process. But I'll work around it. So the idea is to the purpose of accusing somebody of a mental health disorder is to get that person to have hurt feelings, and to hurt their feelings is one, and to lie about the victims, the alleged victim, so that they aren't believed in public. Do you hear that dude's yelling? Do you hear how loud he's speaking? Maybe you can't hear him on the phone, but he's raising his voice right before he speaks. Anyways, so I'm whispering, and you guys can hear me clearly. And the person he's talking to is less than 6 inches away. You don't have to yell loudly. It's to distract me. It's a distraction to make me distracted from talking to you. So my point is, accusing somebody of a mental health disorder is a sign of it's harassment, and it's inappropriate. You're supposed to accept whatever accusations that come your way. If you're a police sergeant or a police officer, and someone makes an accusation, you're not supposed to respond to that person. You have a mental health disorder, so I don't have to listen to you, or you have a mental health disorder, so you can't be telling the truth. You can't be honest. You can't be honest about what you're saying. I don't have a mental health disorder. I never have, and I never will. I keep proving I keep telling people I have a supportive amount of evidence to tell anybody I'm intelligent, and I'm connected to reality. Well, I have a connection to reality that tells people, I am aware of my surroundings. So, and paranoia is the opposite. Paranoia is somebody who's not aware of their surroundings. I am competent, and I am very aware of my surroundings. I know what is common, I know what is uncommon. Uncommon is for you to walk into to drive through a city and see police officers arriving at intersections simultaneously at the same time you do. That's harassment. That is done with stalking. And she told me that it is paranoia. It's not. That's a lie. The paranoia is based on what? I just told you something that is physically possible and did happen multiple times. And that is the history that is held between me and the Middleton Police Department and several other police departments. They keep arriving to intersections as soon as I do. And that's where the history began. The history of go fuck yourself began when Middleton police officers continuously arrived to intersections as soon as I did. And I chose not to be violent. I chose to respond with free speech. The Middleton Police Department chose to begin to lie, chose to lie about me and about the laws, the constitutional rights that people have in the city of Middleton. So they lied and said I was paranoid, and to distract the people in power. The lie is a mental health disorder. Now the people in power have something to play with in the public. They can say, well, he has a mental health disorder. Well, I have a defense. I'm very conscious. I'm very aware. I know what's happening around me. I know who I am. I know my purpose. I know humanity's purpose. I know mankind's purpose. I know lots of things. And I also know when police officers are harassing me and how that harassment took place. So this woman thought she was smart. She thought she could say several insulting, disrespectful things rapidly that would hurt my feelings and cause an altercation. So instead of admitting the truth that yes, these officers were stalking you, were harassing you, exactly the way you described, and yes, you have a civil right to say go fuck yourself at all times, and instead of civil right to say go fuck yourself at all times, she decided to double down on the harassment. Insult him. Insult his intelligence. His intelligence is incredible. I've proven it on Twitter and on YouTube several times. Insult his intelligence. Insult his gravity, and tell people he's paranoid, which is something he's not. And I guess it's going to take somebody in power to correct these issues. So yeah. So the tool was harassment. Continue harassment. So telling somebody they have a mental health disorder when they know they're very intelligent, when they know they've proven it, and they're very aware of the things happening around them, is harassment. It is harassment. And that's what police officers do. Well, they're doing to me. I haven't seen people be accused of mental health disorders as often as I have. And it's usually towards intelligent people. So when people are really intelligent, it's really hard to it's really when people are intelligent, you can't use violence because there's no, and get away with it. So usually intelligent people don't attack people when they're frustrated. That's a problem. So what you do is you fight intelligence with lies. So you lie. No intelligent person can beat lies. And that's what that police officer just did. She chose to use lies. One, I don't have a right to speak freely in public. That's the first lie. The second lie, I'm not aware of stalking harassment when it occurs. Her second lie. Her third lie, because of the third lie, which is I have a mental health disorder. I do not have a mental health disorder. That woman just lied 3 times very quickly. Lie rapidly. Lie quickly. Prepare several lies to tell, and or make it difficult for people to prove they have rights. So maybe this black person's not that intelligent. Maybe the difficulties with thinking, talking with the implant will make it impossible for that person to prove they're right or to argue that they're right. So she has an implant helping her. I have an implant making it harder for me to argue. And that's the Middleton Police Department. That's the people who are supposed to help and protect people in the city of Middleton. So if you're passing through the city of Middleton, holy crap. Holy crap. They just did that. Did you see that? Holy crap. That's the city of Middleton. So someone just told me in my ears, I'm here to harass the people in there. But I'm not here to harass people in here. I came here. Oh, that's the other lie she told. She lied and said, I come here to harass people. I came here, each time I come here, I have a purpose. I come with purpose. My purpose here was to ask the city of Middleton Police Department their views on civil rights. They told me their view on civil rights is if what you say offends somebody in the public, you do not have a civil right. What you said is no longer protected. But it is. I made sure of it. I made sure that swearing in public in front of children as a statement, to make a statement, was still protected under the First Amendment. Under the First Amendment, I made sure I didn't say an obscenity in public without a reason. So like just screaming out the B word or screaming out the F word or screaming out the S, like just swearing without sentences, right? I guess that's the profanity that they were accusing me of, the charge of disturbing the peace. That makes sense. Somebody is just swearing without a reason, right? That's not protected free speech. What is protected free speech is when you say, go fuck yourself to a police officer. No matter what, no matter where, at all times, that is protected free speech. And this officer, this seasoned officer, knew that. So she lied. And she's not going to admit she was wrong until someone in authority tells her she was wrong, like a judge. And now they're trying to paint me out as a person who's harassing the police department. I'm not harassing the police department. Each and every single time I've come here, I have always had a purpose. That is not harassment. Harassment would be coming here asking for phone numbers, asking to hang out with police, asking for things that they don't have a responsibility to facilitate. So if you came here and you were bringing comics in, or you were riding a bicycle around the inside here, or if you came here and you were telling them things that they have nothing to do with, or anything criminal, nothing civil, any health issues, anything without gravity, nonsense, not nonsense, anything that they couldn't help you with. If I came here and I was asking them about a problem that is solved at a department store, or a problem at Wendy's that only went like a hamburger. I bought a hamburger and they didn't put onions on it. And I came here and I complained that I didn't get onions on my hamburgers all the time. That's called harassment. So instead of labeling the reasons I've come here in the past correctly, she mislabeled them quickly. So she told one lie that takes a long time to correct. So it would take you 10 minutes to correct the lie she told and provide evidence of it, which is what she did outdoors. Or her police officer did outdoors. He told a lie that's going to take months to correct, and there's very little punishment for it. So the police officer lied and said I didn't have a civil right to say go fuck yourself to him if there was a child nearby. That is a lie, but it's going to take several months to correct that. And now they're acting like, oh, they're prepping. They think I'm going to come here and say something to them because in the future. So I think they're going to start lying in the future about me coming here each time I have come here in the past. Each time I've come here in the past has been for a purpose. Has been with purpose, a reason. I don't go out of my way to go to the police department to ask for anything. I got better things to do, unless there's a reason. Like one of the reasons I came here was to report somebody cut in front of me while I was driving. That's one of the reasons I came here. And if she's telling the truth, that means I came here for no reason. And I should not have come here to report in the city of Middleton somebody drove very quickly in front of my car. So, illegally. Which someone told me, it's not illegal. If somebody driving behind you cuts in front of you while you're turning left, it's not illegal. Anyways, it is. That's a dangerous driving maneuver, highly dangerous. You could cause an accident. It's an illegal left turn. I think it's an illegal left turn. You can't cut in front of somebody while they're turning left to make the left turn faster than they are, if you were initially directly behind them. So you can't hit the gas, cut around them, hit the gas some more, and complete the turn before they do. It sounds like a highly illegal left turn. Or cut in front of them. So if they're making a wide left turn, you can't hit the gas, cut straight in front of them, and complete the left turn before they do. Another illegal reason. But that was someone just used an implant to remind me of that, and that was one of the reasons I came here. So if she's telling the truth, I had no purpose to come here. So I've never come here without purpose. The question I asked was a very simple one. Hey, do you guys believe in civil rights as a police department? So as a police department, she told me, no, they don't believe you have a civil right to say, go fuck yourself in public if there's a child nearby. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. That is a lie. That statement is protected at all times. At all times, you have a right to speak freely in front of police officers, and you can't be prosecuted. You can't be retaliated against. And they just told me they're going to come up with several reasons why you should be prosecuted. But your reasoning falls short of United States Supreme Court reasoning and judicial reasoning. So I think the police department is a different branch. Well, I don't know, maybe that's wrong. But the judicial branch decided that the reasoning I just told you, I've told you several times in this video that you have a right to speak freely, is the reasoning that stands across this nation. This the ultimate reasoning, the ultimate justification, the ultimate protection people have is to know that they can swear while they're talking. And they don't have to be afraid of swearing while they speak or being prosecuted for swearing while they're speaking under any circumstances. Unless they're swearing without purpose, without sentences, and not making any positive value, without any value. So just saying swear words without any purpose. That's obscenity, using profanity in public, and it's disorderly. It has no value. But if you are using swear words and sentences to give meaning, to give value, to give anger or emotion to your statement, you have every right to put those emotions into your statement and to give those emotions at all times. And you can't be prosecuted for it. And this police department came up with a justification to retaliate for every single time I've told them to go fuck themselves at an intersection, in passing, when I've seen them, with a lie. They hid behind children. And they hid behind children because they hid behind children because they hid behind children because they couldn't justify, they couldn't reason. There aren't any laws, any workarounds that they can use to justify the charge or to lie with intelligence. So they want to lie, but they need an intelligent lie to use to justify the charge. So the prosecutor, I don't know what the prosecutor is thinking. He's very intelligent. If he plans on taking the case or prosecuting the case, he's going to have to prove, and I'm going to jury trial, he's going to have to prove to a jury that you don't have a right to speak freely in public and that the words "go fuck yourself" aren't legal. So I guess inevitably this police department is going to have to admit they were wrong. But in the meantime, for the next 2 or 3 months, I have to live with an unnecessary feeling that what they did and said was wrong. So saying and doing, it's like stress or, I don't know, your rights are violated. So you want to move through, you want to move forward. You can't move forward in life with stress that's not supposed to be in your life. So you can't make progress. You can't ignore it. That's why things are supposed to move quickly, or bad things aren't supposed to happen to you. So police departments are supposed to always make the right decision. And it's incredible that so much experience, so much intelligence, or the obviousness that they're wrong, that you have a right to free speech at all times, is supposed to be on the minds of these police officers. It's supposed to be on their forefront, on the top of their minds, on the top of their heads. That's supposed to be on their minds. And she lied. You don't have the right to free speech just around police officers. You have a right to free speech at all times, no matter who's around that police. Police officers can't hide behind children to protect them from somebody telling them how they feel. That you cannot hide behind children. And that woman knows that. So what's really, psychological harassment. She believes that the more this implant is at work, the more people in the public don't support me, the more ways I can be hurt, the more lies that are told that can hurt me, the more depressed or upset or angry or violent I'll choose to be to retaliate instead of using intelligence to fight back. Instead of continuing to tell the truth. That's what these people think I'll do. I'll choose to be violent on top of all the intelligent lies that are told in response to intelligent lies or in response to psychological harassment. So as long as they continue to do it, as long as the implants still work, the more experiences I have that contradict reality, the more likely I'll develop a anger issue. That's the best I can do. No matter what, I'll never disconnect from reality. I'll never develop these psychological issues that they believe harassment will cause. Schizophrenia, the lie of schizophrenia. It's freaking technology. I think I can say fucking. It's fucking technology. Free speech. It's fucking technology that they're using to make my life harder. Paranoia, doing things very quickly that is hard to record at any given moment does not mean doing things very quickly very quickly that's hard to record in the moment does not mean if a person says it happened later, you can lie and say that never happened and to label someone as paranoid. That is how smart people get away with harassment. You do it very quickly before they can record you, and then you stop for a while. So you stop for a while so they can't build evidence. So they just told me that. They harass you a bunch of times before you would have, and in a way that it's hard to record or to pull out your camera and record the harassment. And then if you did start to record all the time, they'll pause. They'll pause, and now it looks like for a couple of days you were surrounded by police officers at intersections or followed, or you kept seeing cops more than you should. And then you start driving around town and you're driving normally, you're going to locations, you're going to get food, you're shopping, you're doing your business normally, and you never see police officers as much as you did when you started recording for those 2 days. So now it looks like they'll argue and say, for 2 days you saw lots of cops. That's not that big of a deal, right? And then when you put the phone down and you relax a little bit and you get used to it a little bit, you start seeing police officers again. Because it's harassment. It's a form of psychological harassment. They think they're smart. They think they can escape gravity if they move too quickly to be recorded. And gravity is a record. Gravity is a record of events. Gravity is history. They can escape history if they move quickly, or if they stop quickly, and if they repeat quickly. All of these things are tools to escape punishment. And lying about someone's mental health to hurt their feelings and to justify never investigating their claims with a lie is how the Middleton Police Department are protecting themselves. Holy crap. And they said I had a mental health disorder. What I just told you is very logical, very intelligent. And the only, I wouldn't claim they have a mental health disorder. I would claim that they are lying to protect themselves and breaking the law simultaneously until somebody stops them. Somebody with authority comes in with a piece of paper and says, you can't do this, or you have to apologize for this, or you have to stop this, in which case it's just a piece of paper. They're going to keep moving on their way, and it doesn't really affect them. So that piece of paper, that person with authority isn't really going to change their lives. But because they're a large organization, and at the end of the day, these police officers, somebody has to do this job. So the punishment is going to be light. And most of these guys will just get another job somewhere else if any of them are fired. And I think that's how you harass people. Well, you use government resources to harm people. Well, you use the government to hurt people. Well, you use a police department to harass and hurt somebody in the community. Holy crap. And I guess without evidence, someone just said, you have no evidence in my ears. You have no evidence whatsoever. We're going to escape. Everything you said may be true, but if what you said can't be proven, then there's no point to anything you said. And I don't think that's true. I don't think how it works. That's how it works. You don't need evidence. And I'm a firm believer it's impossible to escape gravity. No, I don't think you always need evidence to convict somebody of a crime. So you use their testimony. So the police department is stupid. This police department is stupid. They're going to tell a lie. They're going to tell people I kept interacting with them. Somebody very intelligent is going to decide, wait, how did all of these interactions occur? Well, even if you guys are patrolling all the time, he's only in town for 30 seconds, and he's never cruising around Middleton looking for police officers. So how is it possible these casual cruisers, your cruisers are always finding one person in town? Middleton is a very big place. It's a very large area. Middleton is not a small town with 2 roads. Middleton is a town with lots of roads all over town. It's a huge area. So how is it possible? How is it possible that, I don't know how many cops they have. They have like maybe 10 cops, 10 police officers, have so many interactions with the same person who only drives through town for like 30 seconds, who parks his car, he used to park his car and go indoors, or shops in Middleton for a short period of time. How is it possible that these police officers have hundreds, 300, 400, 500, 600 interactions with this person? They're going to minimize the number, because as the number increases, it looks more like stalking. And the reason they haven't reported each incident, each time they were told to go fuck themselves, is because keeping track is going to make them look guilty. So they're going to word it perfectly to hide the gravity, to not tell on themselves by saying, when they say, we've had numerous interactions with them. You don't give an exact number, or for how long. So I think it's been about 5 or 6 years, maybe 4 years straight, with numerous interactions over 4 years. That person would be stalking your police officers. And instead of rationalizing being caught in her lies, she decided to run away and insult me as she did, so that I would chase after her. I would do something illegal. I would chase after a police officer, which is what they've been trying to do. So they harass me quickly, drive past. Stalking, harassment, insulting, intimidation, acts of intimidation, or facial intimidation, and then smiling nicely. Doing that, they hope that I would turn my car around and chase after them. Now they have somebody following a police officer. Now that kind of looks like stalking, intimidation behavior if it happens all the time. So it's like you try to get the victim to become the perpetrator, and you do it very quickly. So stalking harassment, use stalking harassment to get the victim to become a perpetrator. Do what you do, but they can't do it as well as you do it. You need technology to help you stalk someone perfectly. So if you know someone's going to be somewhere, to be there when they get there, you would have to know where they're going to be ahead of time. So the best somebody like me could do is wait for a police officer to drive in front of me and then follow them. But I wouldn't do that. So now you give that person a reason to follow the officer. Retaliation. Tell the officer to do something they don't like. Or arrive to a specific location as soon as they do. That they know that person doesn't like that. And that person feels like they have justice. They believe in justice, right? That person wants justice, right? So they chase after the officer. I'm not stupid. I'm not chasing after the police officer. I think I learned that somewhere, that a police officer charged somebody for following them. I think I was a teenager, a baby, or like in middle school when I heard about that. There was a guy who was following a police officer who was arrested for whatever reason. The police officer said following him was illegal or something like that. But I choose not to do that. I'm not stupid. You just did something illegal and you want me to follow you to deal my own justice out, because the police department won't deal their own justice out. So won't do the right thing. So, and then you build, and because I haven't recorded the history of this behavior in the past, if I show up in court, I can't prove that this is stalking behavior. It's easy for a victim to see stalking behavior, but if you have no evidence, it's really hard to prove in court. So I don't lie. These people have been stalking and harassing me, and I came here to see their take on civil rights. And if you watch this video, you're going to hear their response to what are civil rights. And the lie they told to justify stealing or violating somebody's civil rights. And the justification is that children. Children trump your civil rights. That's a lie. That is a lie. And it's incredible that this police department, with all that experience, with all this, look at this. Look at this building. It's a sign of value. It's a sign of gravity, right? It's a sign that these people were intelligent. The people who built this place are intelligent. The people who occupy this place are intelligent. Look at all these signs. Look at all this purpose here. And you have officers in this building who don't support the reason this building was built. To show everyone who walks in here that if you walk in here, your rights are going to be protected. You're going to get the right answer. You're going to have the support of this department. Well, the gravity in this department reaches throughout the city. The gravity of this building, right? There's gravity here, and it's supposed to stretch throughout the city. And every officer here is supposed to uphold the gravity of this building. They're supposed to be the tool. Well, the building is gravity, and they're supposed to be the energy, the movement. They're supposed to give gravity, extend the gravity. So be the gravity throughout the city of this building. And that the gravity is intelligence. Intelligence to know the law. The law says you are supposed to uphold people's civil rights above all else. And you're not supposed to play games and tell people if it's not written in the Constitution itself, we don't have to believe you. You can look at court cases. You can watch the news. You can watch several things. You don't need a judge to tell you you were wrong. You know protected free speech. And you don't need nobody to explain free speech to you. So I really can't see this harassment. Essentially, it's harassment for violence. It's harassment for altercation. That's what this police department believes. And harassing particular people for an altercation, that's the only purpose I can tell for all of these intelligent people to make the wrong decision. It would have to be for violence, to cause violence. Making the wrong decision when I know you're smart. I know you've been a police officer for a long time. I know you know the right thing to do. And to still choose to do the wrong thing, you want something from that person, the person you wronged. You want that person to become a bad person. And that's the opposite of what this building was built for. It's for people to be strong, to have a sense of reality that tells them right and wrong all the time. And that's what we use laws for. So she was playing mental games with me, and she's smart. She's not stupid. She knew exactly what she was doing. She's playing these mental games to get me to think that if it's for a very dumb reason, if it's not written in the Constitution, you don't have that right. Those words, those specific words, aren't in the Constitution. You don't have that right. She knows that. So why harass somebody? It's because you want them to be violent. You want that person to get mad. You want to hurt that person's feelings. If you play with their minds, you hurt their feelings, together, they'll probably be violent because no one is helping them. And the people who are supposed to do the right thing are doing the wrong thing. So what does someone like that do? Choose violence. I chose to tell, and they're aware that no one watches my YouTube channel, or they have to be reading the comments I've written on YouTube. They have to be reading the intelligent things I've said, or they're completely lost their minds. They have completely lost their minds. If they're watching my YouTube channel, reading the posts I've made, these people have to be losing their minds, completely lying to me and telling me I have a mental health disorder, and to everybody else saying you don't have civil rights. So these people are definitely liars. Oh, they just told me in my ears. It's because no one's watching. And if no one's watching, you don't have civil rights. If no one's watching, you're not as intelligent as you really are. So as long as we're the only one making decisions, you won't be called intelligent. As long as we're the only one making decisions, we can say whatever we want to you and never get in trouble. So I have to trust that there's a judge in the community in the city of Middleton who upholds the Constitution. I have to trust that there's a prosecutor who will dismiss the case before it goes to trial, who won't believe what the police department believes. This is the dumbest, this is the most wasteful, and these are bad cops doing bad things to support the gay community. They're not gravity. They don't have any gravity. They refuse to accept reality. They refuse to be a part of reality. They refuse to uphold the law, the Constitution. Gravity, they hate it. They hate gravity. Reality. Lots of gay community members hate reality because reality says they aren't who they tell people they are. And their whole culture can be proven to be a lie if they follow reality. Holy crap. Those are the cops here. They want me to be violent because I won't have sex with gay people. They harass you quickly to get you to be violent. And then they lie about your intelligence so that you don't choose the right choice when someone's harassing you or when someone's stalking you or when someone's intimidating you or when someone's electrocuting your ears or when someone's electrocuting your genitals. They want you to make the wrong choice. And they're not going to help you make the right choice or do the right thing, which is uphold your constitutional rights. Isn't that incredible? If you're watching this video and you know the right thing is to uphold my constitutional rights, why would somebody who's equally intelligent as you are, who works in a building of gravity, who works inside this building, make the wrong choice? The obvious wrong choice. Why would somebody do that? Because they want to hurt one person. They want to harass, bully, intimidate, and hurt a particular person so that they turn out to be violent for a personal reason. And that personal reason is, I refuse to have sex with gay people. But all of these things are very hard, difficult for me to elaborate because I have no evidence. I guess somebody's going to have to piece together what is evident to conclude I told the truth.